English teacher, part 79, required courteous group behavior. Well, as a teacher, you should train your students to raise a hand if they wish to volunteer an answer. There's courteous behavior which gives the floor they wish to volunteer an answer, and to one person at a time allows you to acknowledge and correct responses and use them more productively. A student's answers may lead to your next question or to redirect passing questions along to another student to obtain clarification or comment, and thus become a part of a topic's development. Also train your students to direct their answers to the whole class and not just to you, to emphasize that answering question is part of your cooperative, not just as an individual, but the learning experience of the collective class, and that all students share responsibility for a lesson's development. Framing questions. The way in which you frame your questions will relate closely to their effectiveness. Questions and answers sessions should help students to progress well beyond the level of trivial pursuit that relies heavily on the recall of the isolated facts. Teachers must therefore vary the level of questions asked, whereas simple level questions may be useful for drilling basic facts. Questions that are open-ended, requiring analysis, synthesis, or the forming or support of the opinion. It will stimulate students to move beyond recall into the higher levels of thinking. Plan your questions to meet the following objectives. Number 1, keep your questions brief. Number 2, sequence questions logically. Number 3, adapt questions to the student's abilities. Number 4, promote thinking. Number 5, promote general participation. Number 1, keep questions brief. Long questions can tax anyone's memory. A lengthy or complex question can easily make students forget what you are asking them for, and thus it may embarrass them. Avoid run-on questions. It is better to put a series of questions to a number of students than to ask a single complex question that will keep one student struggling for minutes and minutes while others lose interest and cease to pay attention at all. Number 2, sequence questions logically. In presenting a topic, use your early questions to elicit answers that will provide background material. Follow with the questions that increase students' information and understanding about the topic, and then move on to ask them to use their information and understanding to solve the related problems. Number 3, adapt questions to the student's abilities. It is pointless to ask questions that are beyond their experience and capabilities. Plan your questions on the basis of the information and the skills that the students either have achieved or they are capable to achieve, attempting without risking their confidence and self-esteem. Of course, you can't destroy their self-esteem. You can't put their confidence to a shutter. Better you don't ask such questions. Use language that is clear and straightforward to specify how students should respond. If you must use new or complex words, define them clearly before you ask your question. Promote thinking. Ask questions that require thought as well as memory. Introduce questions with why and how, other than stopping at what, where, and when. Build from simpler to higher order of questions. Use convergent questions, that is, questions that require the students to bring concepts together to get a right answer. Divergent question, that is the question that lead a student to a new perspective to help them synthesize or be creative. But now there should be a right answer to the evaluative questions, that is, those that require students to make carefully considered questions and clearly substantiated judgments. The question with which you can make a conclusion to your lesson might prompt evaluation and lead the class to new insights. Checking for understanding calls for the questions that elicit a review of the topical and background information and allow you and your members of the class to give more critical feedback.